I'm like, yo, I'd call him like, yo, you probably end your stream, man. You're out.
Oh god, that would be hysterical.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. I did lay down, and part of me was like, all right, maybe it will be funny if I go to sleep. Part of me was like, maybe I should just let this roll and see what happens.
See what happens.
Hey, there's I read an article about somebody that was just live streaming them sleeping through the night, and they were making thousands of dollars a month.
What the fuck? I'll do it.
Yeah, I know. I need to put some cameras up in the bedroom. Not for just for sleeping.
Yeah,
just for
exactly.
sleeping.
Sleep?
I want to clarify, just sleep.
Yep. Shit.
Dude,
I almost want to try it. I almost want to set up for TikTok and just go to sleep.
Do it.
See.
I'll wake up and be like, is this on?
Hey, everyone can see the morning wood. But other than that,
I don't care about that. You can see
when someone's pitching a tent.
Yeah, ladies. Is that a cucumber in your pocket, or are you happy to see me?
No, that's a cucumber. Take it outside.
That's a cucumber.
Take it out, start eating it.
It's a delicious snack.
You're keeping it in your pocket, just hoping someone asks that.
Wait all day. Eat that shit.
I will now.
Oh my gosh.
Literal jokes are the best.
Have your wife in the background going, oh my god, again.
It's true.
Like, well, it's funny. Make it's not funny. You're 40, not 15.
So there was I don't even know how many years ago. Have either of you ever built a potato gun?
I've never built one, but I've been party to friends who have built one and we fired it off.
I built my own back when I lived in South Carolina. My brother had helped me. And it was fucking awesome. But we did shoot a cucumber out of it.
Oh god.
And that was fucking hysterical.
Who did you shoot it at?
We had no houses behind us, so I just fucking shot it into the sky.
Somebody was really fucked up over that.
Oh yeah, I should. What did I shoot? I fucking shot apples. I shot cucumbers.
Hey,
dude, you just gotta get that. You just gotta get that tube nice and lubed. Something with some lubricant in there, and it'll go fucking flying.
I'll never forget one dude. One dude had like a big old one.
Oh, Niners touchdown.
And he was like setting it up to shoot it, fire it off, and it's like you got that click for the ignition, click, 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 and then all you hear is, pew, pew, and like we're like, what the fuck? Where is it? And we're looking, and he's on fire. It's burnt. Like it went out the back and started.
Dude, I almost lost some eyebrows.
God.
I did almost lose some eyebrows at one point. I'm like, why isn't this fucking lighting? And I made the mistake of looking in the tube when I pressed the button. And just fucking flames coming at my face. Niners touchdown, 7-3.
Wow. Sturdy's trying to hold back that jubilation right now.
I need 50. I need 51 fucking points. I don't care how it happens. I just need 51 points.
Well, just put the good juju to the Niners, and we'll just agree. 51 points plus the Niners win. We'll both be happy then.
There you go. I love it.
That?
51 points to the Niners.
There we go.
I don't.
Can you go over 51?
Oh yeah, I just need at least 51.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, combined or
combined?
Yeah, combined for 51 points.
I'm just making sure. Sometimes you never know, but we want to make sure these guys win.
There we go. I seen it. Touchdown to Kittle. I'm a little behind with this stream and shit, but hey, I'm here. Anyway, people, we're here to talk.
Oh, that's right. We're doing a live stream. Forgot all about it.
These movies right here.
Your base is so happy about this.
I watched one. Hey, I watched one of these.
Holy fuck.
I watched one of these.
Let's start with, all right, because you didn't get to watch much of Star Wars, let's start with that one.
I'm just going to contradict everything Mick says because I haven't watched it.
You can't contradict me. You don't want to.
Exactly. Who are people going to believe? Someone who's watched the movie fresh or someone that watched it over 10 years ago and is currently drunk? I mean, come on. I think we know.
This is one of my favorites in the series too. So I watched it. Jesus, they're gonna believe you.
Let me lay some groundwork here. I watched this when it came out. It was somewhere around there, which was when Revenge of the Sith. When did that come out? 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I watched it somewhere around there. Haven't watched it since. Until the first 45 minutes I watched last night before I fell asleep. To which I was also drunk. So, and I'm more drunk now than I was last night when I fell asleep and watching those first
If you're drunk now, kudos, man.
I had a short amount of
this shit drunk.
I've had a short amount of time to chug some beer. See, look, George G. the Third voting for the drunk watch.
Hell yeah, George G.
Yeah,
What's
the
up,
45-minute version.
I get it.
If I'm telling you, if Green Bay scores at all, expect this to be a short episode.
Listen. We're not gonna talk like that, Mick.
I don't want them to.
Listen, we don't even need to bring that kind of nasty negativity. Even
All I can
out,
say is bring on the points.
you know, that's not nice.
Listen, all I know is I hope they don't score.
I like that better.
So we can talk about Star Trek and Star Wars eventually.
I like that a hell of a lot better.
Oh.
You know.
Well, I have.
So let's dive into Star Wars, which I actually did really enjoy this movie.
Are we
I watched it long enough to write 3 things down.
All right, I'll start. Do you have a rating for it, Chris, or not really?
No, I don't really have a rating.
That's fair.
I will say the first 45 minutes I watched. I can't rate this based on however long enough ago I fucking watched it. It was entertaining enough. I was into it. But I know at least 2 of the big scenes that are coming to set the tone for the next 3. But I'm like, all right. I mean, I want to go back and actually finish it when I have the time, but still, I can't give this an actual rating.
Understandable. And how about to you, sir?
I have a shirt for every occasion. I love this movie. And we'll get into Star Trek in a second. I'm in love for that. But this is my top dog this week. I love this. This is one of my absolute. Actually, the next 2 weeks in Star Wars are 2 of my absolute favorites. They're fantastic.
Wow.
So this one I'm going to give 7.5.
Ooh. I really enjoyed this shit. I was like, oh man, fucking finally. This feels like a Star Wars to me. This feels like a good Star Wars to me. I'm actually gonna give this one an 8.
Wow.
I'm giving it an 8.
Nice. You know what it is? I'm great because I know my high scorers, and they're coming up soon, and then they go away. It's really quick. So, and so, like next week, and this is before I rewatch everything, and I'm trying to rewatch along with everything, and predominantly Star Wars because I'm a little dated, like maybe like a year since I've seen them. So, yeah. Rogue One. For me, which is the next movie. We're watching Solo next.
I've never watched Solo. Is that what we're doing next?
That's the next one. That's in the chronological order. Solo's next.
Okay.
Because we're not doing the animated, right? We're only sticking to the live action.
Is it an animated movie or is it a series?
There's an animated movie. We missed it though.
Oh,
like it would have been between Attack of the Clones and.
That's fine, man. It's fine. We can just do the live action.
Yeah, so it's or we could switch them up a little bit and do it, but because then it would be 13 to 13. But I wasn't sure how you wanted to play it.
I'm cool either way.
Good, because the cartoon movie is better than the next fucking movie we're gonna be watching.
Ooh,
Solo is solid to you, George C3. Really?
Ooh,
I haven't seen it.
I mean,
can't
Donald
comment.
Glover is great.
Can't comment. Haven't seen it.
Well, we'll get to that next week. You got to come back next week and talk about it for sure. I haven't watched Revenge of the Sith yet, but just finished Search for Spock. I rated a 7.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, but yeah, James is missing in action tonight because he's a pussy.
Yep.
I mean, I watched 45 minutes of the movie and he couldn't even show up. So
Priorities. Man, one day.
So, I knew I wasn't going to have time to finish this, but I tried to watch as much as I could. The two scenes I remember more than anything is, of course, Anakin going in to kill all the younglings. And just fucking after Obi-Wan cuts off all his limbs, like at the edge of the burning lava. Those are the two things I remember.
The younglings, so that's such a well done way to show murder of children.
I know,
because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that in any. So, like, just if you're gonna put it across in a movie, you need to say, "Master Anakin." Yeah, you're screwed. Yeah, it's horrifying.
Here's a question, because I skipped Attack of the Clones. Again, I was busy last week. Is Padme grooming Anakin into a relationship?
No, she's not grooming. In fact, he's more obsessed with her than she is with him. She like falls in love with him, through seeing him and his heart and his caring and all that shit. It's very weak. It's a weak love story in that one. She's not
weird. It's weird the way it's set up. And fucking Phantom Menace.
Well, she doesn't see him for years, like in Attack of the Clones.
No.
Well, I mean, he's like 17 and she's like 22. So I mean, it's not like, like she was very young in that first one. She was
16.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's young.
Yeah.
16, he was 10, so 6 years older. So if he was 17, you do the math. I'm fucking high.
I was looking at the game and I stopped listening. I've got money on the line.
You know what it is? You know what the thing is? There's a lot of things going on. I'm hurt. I'm high. And these two movies, I love Revenge of the Sith. And I could talk about it all day. I mean, first of all, that lightsaber battle is one of the most epic in the series. Yeah. Obi-Wan is the fucking beast in this movie. I loved it, man. I think this is such a great addition. But then we're gonna go over to Star Trek, and although I have a lot of things to say about good and bad, it's just not as exciting of a show of an episode for me.
No,
like it's not.
Rathacon was, that one wasn't. So I'm like, kind of like, all right, well, I could talk about it. But
here's one thing that, at least in the 45 minutes I rewatched, annoyed me. General Grievous, he's a fucking robot, and he has a cough. Seriously?
I know.
This is fucking stupid.
That's why it's a 7.5. That, there's a few reasons it's 7.5, but it is for Star Wars.
It's like he's hacking up a lung that he doesn't have.
Well, he's more of a he's was human, maybe not human, but like, you know what I mean. He was a being that is more android now. So that might be, RoboCop, needs to eat and shit.
Fuck Robo. We're not talking about RoboCop.
You need to do that on Niche. I love that fucking movie. That's a top 10 movie of all time for me.
I don't know. I know I've watched it. I can't remember that at all.
It's been years for me.
How was that not on our? That was in the 80s, right?
Yep.
Was that in the 80s? How was that not on the 80s wheel when we did it?
I don't know.
Sturdy hates cops, even robotic ones.
That's fair.
That's true.
I wonder why, Mick. I wonder why.
I do enjoy some RoboCop. He's fun. He's fun.
Once you die and you're turned into a cyborg, you learn that sense of racism. You lose that sense of racism. Not learn.
I was in the 45-minute movie I saw. My favorite scene.
Uh-oh.
I love R2-D2. Come on, man.
Yes.
He was the star of the movie for me, the 45-minute movie version I saw. When he is fucking, so they keep calling him to operate the elevator, and he's trying to fucking hide, and I'm cracking up. They find him, and then he ends up just spraying all this oil and then turning on like his jet thruster and burning the 2 droids that are holding him.
It's
Really good.
it's art. Anything with R2D2, I don't care what you say. Any Star Wars fans in, if he's in a scene, you love R2D2. It's like they only know how to write him.
They give him, it's so weird because they give him such a personality for such a just almost inanimate object.
Yeah, it's
And
wonderful.
I was gonna say they did a perfect job at giving an object like that so much personality and just so much to where it's damn near everybody's top 5 character, top 3 character in Star Wars for the whole history of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Easily. I'll say top 5 because maybe people are a little different. I'll say top 5. And that's saying a lot.
He's so fucking good. I call him the number 1. I call him, we talked about it last week with Spock, right?
Mhm.
If Spock is the face of Trek, like when you think of Star Trek and you want to think of one face that represents it, everybody's thinking of Spock. You know, it just works. And I think R2D2 is that for Star Wars. He's universal. He's in every fucking movie. He's even in Rogue One. I don't know if he's in Solo. I'm unfortunately going to have to find that out. But, you know, whatever. I'm on bag 6 of my R2D2 Lego build. Very nice.
15 bags.
Damn.
It's
That's dedication right there. I love that. I can't wait to hear you say I'm on bag 15.
What's the Lego R2D2 look like?
Oh, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. R2D2.
All right.
That
was a dumb question, I'm sure. But yeah.
No, I just thought I don't like that's the best way I can at this particular moment with my handicap figure it out. This is a handicap
with
talk.
your particular handicap, yes.
This is not a shitty talk. This is a handicap talk. Like I can't think straight, Chris. So I'm just gonna tell you what it looks like.
But by the way, I went through all the notes I wrote down already. So now I'm just fucking along for the ride now.
Highlight points of this movie: killing Anakin, killing Dooku. I thought that was a great scene.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. No, I did see that. Yes. Where
the whole escape on that. The whole beginning.
Palpatine talks him into it.
Yeah, no, fighting all the way
this
throughout.
Movie, it pulls you in right away with the big fucking
it really does.
fight trying to save Palpatine, which is clearly just a whole ploy on Palpatine's part.
Well, the funny part is like the ones that he's leading as the Emperor, as the Sith, not the Emperor yet, but as Sith, the Lord Palpatine. They don't know that he's Senator Palpatine.
Yeah.
So like they're just like Lord Sidious is who he is as a Sith, and then he's Senator Palpatine when he's out in the open. So it's I think it's like he was in danger except from Dooku. Dooku knew because he's his protege, but I don't even think Grievous knew.
I will say maybe that's one thing in Star Wars that's a little convoluted.
Yeah.
It's just the depth of which they play angles on some of these characters. And then
that's Star Wars though. They do that a lot. It's not an excuse to say like, hey, well, you just have to accept it. It's some of the writing in these movies isn't great. Like, I mean, there's a lot of parts in this movie where I'm like, you don't need this. This could have been done better, but I do like the movie. I think it's a high graded movie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Like, I loved the transition of Anakin in this movie. Like, it was just straight from beginning to end. You're like, I mean, you knew he was going to the dark side, but it was like, you seen the transition. You seen it in his eyes. Like, fuck this. I'm done.
I thought the story could have been told a little bit better though. Personally, like, I would have. I think I mentioned yesterday. I was like, I wish he had set up like not a true love triangle between all three of them, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme, but like maybe Sidious sprinkling that, like, hey, he spends a lot of time with your wife, and stuff like that, and like to create that divide even more, because Obi-Wan was always the one that really held him in, and he really just kind of turned on Obi-Wan and was like, you're always against me. It's like, what are you talking about? This dude's been with you the entire time. You're just going crazy.
So how did he get to the point where he's killing the younglings again?
So to officially, like, he finds out that he's Palpatine, or he finds out that Palpatine is the Emperor or the Lord Sith, Sidious.
Okay.
He goes and gets the Jedis to come and arrest him. He kills the Jedis, Mace Windu leading them, and then he tells Anakin, he's like, I have the power to save Padme. Join me. And then so he kneels and he joins, and then that's when his turn comes, and he marches right up there and takes out them young ones.
Yes, he does.
Remember the younglings.
Remember the younglings. You sacrificed all.
So I'm assuming he gets, so by next movie he has the red lightsaber.
Yeah, he gets his, because the blue one was taken by Obi-Wan, and it's given to Luke in A New Hope. Oh,
that's some cold shit right there.
That lightsaber is the key between all the movies, all the main Skywalker movies.
Oh shit!
It will show up. Rey uses it in the new movies.
Okay. To which now, are they doing a new set of movies with Rey?
Yeah, they're doing a new movie. I don't know if they're doing a new set, and it's going to take place like 15 years after the last movie, Rise of Skywalker. So she's like training new Jedi, and I don't know how it's going to play out. So I'm excited for it, though.
You gonna go see it in theaters, or is it going to theaters?
I got to tell you,
any Star Wars movie is going to a theater.
Yeah, 100% go to theaters. I will tell you, my excitement for some things just isn't as high as it used to be. Like, there's a brand new Marvel show out, and I've never watched it.
I haven't watched. Oh, Echo.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it. I haven't started it yet either.
And it's not because, and I get it, because a lot of people are going to be like, well, it's this, that, and the other. It's like, no, it's because I have no desire to watch that character. But in this whole entire realm, I don't have a lot of desire to watch many of the characters getting ready to come out.
I just don't have a lot of fucking time.
That's true, too. I'm too busy watching Shark and Saw Women's Prison Massacre.
There you go. You're welcome. By the way, people are going to want to check out the Patreon, because we got a great fucking episode coming next week. We recorded a fun episode before this for Patreon. What are we doing next week, gentlemen? We're doing all kinds of romantic comedy sequel hell.
Yeah. All thanks to Chat GPT, and then we're just going to make up what we feel happens in the sequels by the titles.
We're going to come up with some dark turns on rom-com sequels.
Only sequels. Why? Because why not? That's why.
We don't want to ruin
you had to put it out there in the world, and now OG Butt Stuff's going to do it.
That's fine.
OG, I mean, butt stuff's going to be involved one way or another. It always is. I mean,
whenever you put a cucumber inside of a potato gun.
Yeah.
We're back on that.
That was code. That wasn't a real thing. That was code. I wasn't talking about an actual potato gun. Put a cucumber. We're gonna put a cucumber in a few places.
Oh, Jesus! All right, we'll be careful with this one because we're not on Patreon anymore, guys.
No, but people are gonna want to check out the Patreon next week
for sure.
I'm high. He's drunk. And he's paying attention to the 49ers.
I'm paying attention to the game. It's not looking good for the over. That's for fucking sure.
I'm doing both.
I'm regretting the over bet. I am.
It's still early, Chris. We're about to turn it on. Score a touchdown right here. We get the ball at half, and we're really going to turn it on.
That's right. I hit the Ravens over, so if I lose this, I'll be down $3. So that's fine.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
So what are we on to next?
I don't know. Are we moving on? Are we done with this?
No, I want to talk about the end battle. I loved
Okay.
it. I freaking loved it. And
Yeah.
like where Darth Vader actually
Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan. I almost said Obi-Wan and Spock. That would have been a
Spock.
battle. I don't know why. I'm drunk. Obi-Wan and Anakin by the lava stream.
Yeah.
Right.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was,
an awesome amazing. Battle. Yeah, that's it. In my opinion, it's the second best. And sometimes it flips, but that was the second best lightsaber duel in the series.
A Vulcan mind meld on a Jedi. Would that work?
Okay.
There we go, Nick.
Would that work? Would a Vulcan? Yeah, it would work. Yeah, it could work. And actually, I think it would probably work better because usually both have very clear logical minds. Anyway, Jedi are supposed to. There's a lot of emotion that they say shouldn't exist that does exist, but
for Anakin,
Spock would be fucked. Like it would take a lot for Spock to really heal his mind.
Oh, Anakin's?
Yeah, if he did a mind meld. But like it also affects because their minds become one. So he will take on all of that pain. You know, so it'll give some reprieve to Anakin, but then Spock has to suffer through the pain.
Anger and just
Now I'll say this: would a Jedi mind trick work on a Vulcan? I don't think so. I don't think it would. You know, kind of like in that first movie when what's his name? The slave owner in the first one of Anakin and his mom.
I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember
I can't think of his name at the moment.
The fucking
it's because Jedi mind tricks didn't work on him. He's too like going about it from a point of view of like logic. Like when we're trying to dupe somebody, we're trying to be the most logical so we can keep up with it. If you get emotional,
if that fucking blue fly guy doesn't affect him, I could totally believe it wouldn't affect a Vulcan.
Yeah. So so those are two very interesting takes on it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love shit like that. That's where you get me. Like I can review all day, but if you throw out some shit like that where I really got to think about it, I'm like in.
That's why I'm here.
We'll throw out more.
Go throw that in a Star Wars, Star Trek nerd group that really has a deep answer for that, and come back to us. Make them like, you know what, guys, I have another answer. Just don't use all the big ass words. You got to break it down more. I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Jesus.
I'm sticking with my non-rating.
But no, I'll say this, like, again, going on like where Darth Vader came from, because I never knew like how he was built up and all this other shit. You just see him as, I just know him from episode 4, 5, and 6. So you just see him as that. And that's all I know him as. That's all I know him as. This is my first time seeing this one. This is my first time seeing episode 3. And I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. It's different. This is pretty cool. It was a little strange. I'm not going to lie. It was a little strange, a little funny when Darth Vader is yelled at the end, but he's like, no! I was like,
it is so bad.
That was weird and cartoony for me. I'm like, I'd rather him just destroy shit than doing that. Like, I know it was still kind of destroying shit, but I'd rather him just destroy shit out of anger.
You know what it is? So this is where you kind of fuck yourself when you do this. They put out Return of the Jedi first. So when you put out Return of the Jedi first, at the end of that, when he's watching the Emperor force lightning Luke and it's hurting Luke, it's going to kill him, he's starting to say to him, this is him pulling himself back to the light, saying no, like, and it's just like that's his way of like, no, I can't take, like, I need to save him. And then he kills the Emperor and saves Luke. And the reason they were trying to juxtapose that with this one, where he finds out Padme and the children are dead. And so no is like his, but it just didn't work. It just wasn't like, if he had just been like, and like everything crushed and was like crazy.
Yeah.
That would have worked, but screaming no just seems so weird. Like they were going for a Frankenstein effect in that scene.
And it was so like the whole scene there was weird, because I was like, you have him yelling no, and then whatever they did to make the camera like real shaky and it looked so fucked up and cartoony. It was like you had all these cool ass special effects and stuff, what you did for those times, and then threw it all in the garbage with that scene right there, damn near for me.
And
Like
it's
this movie would have been rated higher if it wasn't for that scene right there.
in my opinion, that's the only Darth Vader scene throughout this entire series where his voice feels fake, like it's recorded, you know? Everything else to me when I'm watching it, I'm like, nah, it kind of feels like that's his voice. He's in the room, you know? Not this one. So yeah, it's one of those that's just kind of like it's such a good movie, but there are some elements to it. But that's why it doesn't match up to the original trilogy. For me, like this is good, but it's good for the other movies outside the trilogy. Like,
yeah,
I think this is a more well-crafted Return of the than Return of the Jedi. But I will watch Return of the Jedi all the time. I don't give a shit. I love the Ewoks. I love everything that happens. It's bonkers and zany, but it matches well with the rest of the trilogy. And that's why it set a tone for what trilogies are. So I stick by it. I think everybody should watch it.
Oh, I love the trilogy. I'm so excited that those are the next ones that we're watching. As far as
we're watching Solo next.
Nope, you're watching Solo unless you're doing Clone Wars. If you decide to add that, then it will be the Clone Wars because you got to make up for it, and then you got to do Solo, then you got to do Rogue One, then you get to the trilogy.
No, I'm not doing that. So Solo,
Rogue One, and then the trilogy starts.
Fuck. All right, Solo, Rogue One, and then the trilogy.
I will tell you though, and I'm not advocating it or whatever. You do you. If you do decide to end the Clone Wars, it is a good movie. It's a solid movie. So it's not, and honestly, it's probably better than this. So I'm not like I wouldn't be upset to watch it. Like I think it's a good movie. But I'm okay with just going ahead.
Well, you guys debate that. I gotta go take a leak quick, so I'll be right back.
You have fun in there, Chris.
Oh yeah, I did, dude. Yeah, I mean, this and it kind of makes me. Well, no, Rogue One.
So would that be next then?
We'd have to, because the Clone Wars takes place before Revenge of the Sith. So it can, yeah. So chronologically, you would have to watch that before this movie. So you'd have to watch it now just to kind of keep pace with everything. And then, and then just say it, you say it at the beginning. Just like, listen, we skipped this. We didn't know we were going to do it. But if you don't, then it's Solo and good luck. But Rogue One to me is like a 10 movie. So.
Oh, shit.
Well,
maybe we will throw those in there then. Just because.
Yeah, it's only one. So it works out. Yeah. When he gets back, let's go. I'm so excited to talk about Star Trek now.
Oh, see, it's Star Trek. It's going to be interesting for me.
I'm anxious to see what you thought about it, because you're coming from, man, it's so exciting to see where you're at, because it's only been 3 weeks. Me, I've had years in between where I watched them, So it's so fresh for you. Like Wrath of Khan's so good. That's what I think about. I don't think about motion picture and what that's like. So when we get to Search for Spock, I'm like comparing it to Wrath of Khan. So I think that makes it feel worse for me.
It hurt. Yeah, we'll get there. It hurts though. I'm going to tell you, it hurts it. It hurts it.
I told you, right? Didn't I tell you?
We'll get there. We'll get there, because I have my reasons for my rating, and it's going to contradict itself, but I don't care. It's going to be a weird answer. You're going to understand it, because I feel like you're going to agree with it, and you're going to get it.
Well, shall I get, before he comes back? Oh, did he watch this one?
Yeah.
Then I'll wait for it, and I'll talk, because that's going to be more about the meaning of Spock and what happened in Wrath of Khan, and what bothers me about this movie. But the same thing that really bothers me about this movie overall is something that I'm glad happened. So I'm sort of torn, because I don't like it from a story element. I don't like it. I was like, you took a sacrifice away, and that's never a good thing. And then you gave us something back that I think this franchise could not have gone on without. with Spock. I think it could have gone on. It has gone on without Kirk. It has gone on without. But even Spock came back in Next Generation. Spock came back in so many different things, and he's so important. He's an important character. That just, yeah. I can't. I'm glad he's back, but it sucks.
I'm glad he's back, but it's just, we'll get into it. But it's just, oh man.
Yeah, and I think it's going to hurt you more though, because I've had years to reconcile that. You've watched the first 3 in weeks, so it's hard. Like last week, you were so into Wrath.
By the way, I finished Wrath of Khan, and that was ridiculously better than the motion picture.
Yeah. What's your rating for that?
I'm going to go solid 8 at a minimum.
Nice. That's a 10 film for me. Unless I gave it something else last week, but I'm pretty sure I did a 10.
No, you gave it a 10.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I'm leaning towards 9.
But I did give it a 10. Did you watch the episode before it?
Yes, I did.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, see, because that's why I was like, sometimes when you don't watch it before it,
I watched the episode before that, and it was a perfect fucking setup for the movie.
Yeah,
like it was. I don't know. So the series ran. When did the series run? It was in the 66
through 67.
Okay. When did Wrath of Khan come out?
82.
Did they have any intention of ever using that for the basis of any kind of movie?
It was literally revisited because the motion picture was so different from what Star Wars was, what they actually wanted, that they went another route. And the cool thing about Gene Roddenberry in Star Trek is he always brought his people with him. So there were people who worked on the original Star Trek and the animated series and other stuff in the movies that when they did Next Generation, they were the ones leading. They were the producers. They were the ones directing all that stuff. And they knew Gene Roddenberry had a vision. Like there's rules that exist within the Star Trek world for them to work. You can't step on anything. Like the biggest break of the rules is probably J.J. Abrams, and it still works. But there's a framework he set up that Star Wars never set up, and now a lot of franchises never set up. But that's why I truly believe you can have as much Star Trek that exists, and you never grow tired of it because it's just the framework. You don't have to stick with the same crews. You don't have to stick on the same ships. You can go anywhere. It's still the same framework. You're going to get you're going to get the lay of the land, and that's why they went with. So long story short, when Wrath of Khan came around and like this was make or break, we're going to give you a sequel, but it better be like Star Wars. Better be that fun, thing. They really went back and they found that story and they were like, this would be a great story to revisit.
They nailed it.
Yeah.
They fucking knocked that shit out the park with Wrath of Khan.
So it's awesome. Fucking wonderful, man. Like I love that movie. And like I was telling Sturdy while you walked away, I'm torn because this movie undoes the beauty of that movie at the end. But it also brings back the character that I think you needed to help Star Trek keep going.
Listen, okay. Search for Spock. Is that what we're talking? Search for Spock now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to give it a 7.
Wow. Nice.
Okay. How about you, Mick?
All right. Search for Spock for me gets a 5.
A 5.
It's I love this movie and I'll watch it. I will watch any Star Trek movie. I'll just put that out there. When you told me about this, I was like, yeah, all of those movies I will watch anytime. I watch them for fun. That's how good they are. And I like this. It's fun. It brings back the crew. You get the Enterprise. They're searching for Spock. If it was, and the reason it would probably be a 7 for me if it didn't undo the beauty of Wrath of Khan.
I don't think it necessarily undoes the beauty of Wrath of Khan. I think I like that it takes a new approach into turning Kirk as an outlaw kind of rebel.
Oh yeah, no, that comes in the fourth movie big time.
Okay.
More so.
Oh, I didn't tell you because we're Sturdy and I were talking about Star Trek movies. That's another beautiful thing. Star Wars, of course, we're all connected too. Star Trek, like the next movie picks up exactly where this one like takes off. They are leaving Vulcan to go home and be tried. And then there's a problem on Earth and they have to go back in time to try and save Earth. So because they're the only crew that can do it. And then when you get to, and then you find out what happens. And when you get to 5, it's a whole new set. Like Kirk is now busted down because he had to be punished. So he's busted down the captain, but with everything he did, they're like, we'll give you the Enterprise, go away. You know, and then when you get to 6, the problems in this movie and what happened to his son come back to haunt you in 6 because it becomes a big civil war between the Klingons and the Federation. You know, and then so stuff like that, it plays into quite a bit. And even when you get to Generations, which is the first TNG movie, Kirk's in it. You know, Kirk and Picard have to work together, you know, to save the day. So it's beautiful how it all sort of plays out and it comes in, you know.
So they were basically treating them like fucking TV episodes.
Yeah.
When it came to trying to connect them.
That's why I think they do work. Like you're saying, it doesn't necessarily, for me, I think because it's such a deep connection to that movie, like, you know, and I haven't talked about it, but I can understand your put on it. Like, and I do think it needed to happen. I wanted Spock back. You know, he needed to be there, but it's just torn because I love that movie. So I'll give it a 6.
Oh,
you've convinced me, and I will give it a 6.
There you go.
See, I'm gonna give it a 5 for those reasons you were saying, and I'll say it. I'm happy Spock came back, but maybe they could have brought him back at a later time.
Well, I know. Listen, well, I was watching Wrath of Khan, and they send Spock's body out, and it lands on Genesis. I'm like, there's no fucking way this Genesis thing isn't regenerating Spock somehow.
Yeah, and that they alluded to that at the end. So yeah, like I mean, that's why it's not a hard argument. Again, I think it's more personal, my rating for me, but it's gonna be always. But even then, I will keep it at a 6. Like I like that. And goddamn, Chris, you convinced me.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. I will watch this movie though. I will watch any one of these movies.
It works in the sense. Okay, so I mean, Wrath of Khan. Yes, you have Khan. It's a great battle. He's after Kirk and everything like that. They have this Genesis planet that they accidentally created that regenerates everything that touches it. Essentially, it's a good setup for the movie. I feel like it's coming. I feel like the concept of trying to reunite a regenerated Spock with his consciousness that's now in bones. I'm like, all right, I get it. I'm into it. Let's see where this goes. And I feel like they did it pretty well. They got him to Vulcan. It worked for me.
Yeah, and like I said, it does. I will just watch. Like watching this, I was enjoying it. I'm like, I like it. I'll watch it. I don't hate this movie by any means, and it's a lot of fun. You know, I love the banter, the joking. Bones is fucking hilarious throughout this whole movie. He's just ripping into everybody. It's great. But yeah, it just fuck it. Maybe I'll give it a 6.5. I do. I like it. You're convincing me, and I do watch it. But I do like the fourth one too. A lot of people, it's weird. Some people, I think, if I could guess, Chris, you're probably not going to like the fourth one.
So I've heard mixed things on this. Is it the odds that people like the most, or is it the evens? Because it's
the evens that they like the most.
Okay.
And it's a good movie. I think Voyage Home is a good movie.
Because I'm not gonna lie, motion picture was boring as shit. So
it's not like that. It's not like that. There's a lot of fun to it. There's a lot of comedic elements. Like they go back in time to to 1980s San Francisco, and in their garbs. And actually, it was funny because when they were filming it, they didn't tell the people on the street they were filming it. So like at points when they have to go and try and find things on the street in past times, they're just dressed up in Star Trek and like talking to people, and people are like, "What?" Like they're like weirded out by it. It's funny.
Holy shit! What are
They
you?
do, yeah. And Leonard Nimoy directed that one too. I thought it was pretty good.
The fact that Scotty sabotages the more advanced ship by whatever he did, I forgot, because they can't go into warp drive.
Yeah. And he's just waiting. He's like, all right, yeah, whatever, let's do this. And then it just stops.
Scotty's
I like
great,
worrying of it.
Yeah, Scotty is great.
Oh, Scotty's the best. Hey, well, no. Montgomery Scott is one of the greatest engineers to ever exist in Star Trek history. But Geordi LaForge is the absolute greatest engineer of all time.
Ooh.
Hands down. And he is, and my favorite one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek Next Generation is when they find Scotty. You find out that he was on an exploration and he got lost in time. So when they find him, looks just like he does in the 80s in the movies. But he's been like hundreds of years removed, right? And to see him work alongside Geordi in such a major way is a great episode.
I need to rewatch Next Generation because I knew it existed as a kid. I'd watch it I'd catch an episode every once in a while, but I was never really that into it.
That's the one show in all of Star Trek. Like if anybody's just going to be like, I'm going to give Star Trek a try. Maybe it's not the one show because Star Trek Strange New Worlds is really good, but it's very modern, and I don't think you should start with the modern.
No, I'd want to go back and watch Next Generation.
Next Generation is the show I would say
because that's the show when I was a kid growing up. That's what
same here.
Kirk was before, like the original series was before my time, of course.
I will tell you, watching it over again because I watched it when I was a kid and reruns and shit. I'm watching it full out now for the Warp Factor Fiction. It's phenomenal, man. Especially at an older age, you go back and watch it. It's very simple in a lot of the stories.
I mean, like I said, I watched the episode that introduced Khan. I'm like, this was a great episode of television for this back in '66 because it was the first season of the show, episode 21, 22, something like that.
And actually, did you catch the mistake?
What was the mistake?
So who's the first person that? And if you
you mentioned this. Okay, remind me.
So
what was
Chekhov was not in season 1 of Star Trek.
Okay,
so
when he recognized him in the movie,
he goes, Chekhov, my old friend. And it's like he wasn't even there.
Okay,
and
that was
he wasn't there because they do say then he's in the second season when he joins, he was just promoted. Now, could he have been on a ship? Sure. The likelihood, though, and the chances of a lower, whatever he was before he became a lieutenant, because I don't know what he jumped from. I don't know where his thing was, but somebody can tell me. But I'm high. No, he wouldn't have met Khan. He wouldn't have met the guy who was hanging out with Kirk the entire time trying to get a ship. So. That's my take on it.
By the way, what the fuck was this Klingon? Christopher Lloyd as a Klingon was fucking throwing me off.
Oh my god! Did you catch in the past 3? Have you caught a lot of the cameos of Star Trek?
Kirstie Alley in Wrath of Khan.
Well, she's not a cameo. She was a star. She was young too, so she was in. So her being in that made sense. Like she wasn't anywhere near like Cheers yet or anything. So it's because Cheers just started that year, so she was like 6 years away from that. No. So Miguel Ferrer was the navigator, or he might have been navigator or helmsman. I'm not sure, on the ship that broke down. Who else was there? Christopher Lloyd plays a big part in it. Star Trek fans always kind of came out. You got a lot of celebrities that really started out. You're going to catch Christian Slater is in it. He's in one of the movies. Adam Scott's in one of the movies.
Is he really?
Yeah, and it's just a quick scene. He was also no, he wasn't. Seth MacFarlane was on one of the shows. Yeah, there's so many of them. There's so many people came in, and on the shows, fuck, man, they always had, and especially Next Generation. They always had.
I gotta,
so many
Next Generation rewatch.
That is starting for us on War Factor Fiction next. You're welcome to join in. And
I am happy to join in. I'll join in.
Sweet. We are going. So right now we're on the 3rd season TOS. We will start. Here's the fun part. If you guys want to join in for the movies, May through whatever 6 months is, October will be all the movies, and we're going to do live events talking about them. So we're going to invite people on to talk about each movie and like kind of.
Let me know what's happening when.
And then November is when we're going to start Next Generation. So that's what we'll be talking about it, and it's all pre-recorded. So please, if you want to join in,
I do.
Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
Sturdy's like, nah, dude.
Stick my dick in that nerd pot. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think that's a show. Like I fall asleep to that show, not in a bored way. Like it's so like comforting, man.
That's what a good peen feels like.
No, it is. I would be the same way with that show. Just you're flicking through channels, like I need to find something I could watch. If I doze off to it, I doze off to it. But it's kind of, it's one of those shows that is quiet all throughout the whole show.
That's what the ladies say.
If you fall asleep, you wake up, that there's a 98% chance it's going to be quiet.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fine. I'll tell you, you want the greatest sleep. You want the greatest sleep of your life? Turn on
NASCAR. Just a bunch of people turning left.
The Enterprise D.
Enterprise D, all right.
That's the Next Generation one. So I'm going to tell you, and we've seen in this movie they blow up the original Enterprise.
Yes, that's right. They destroy the Enterprise in this one.
We don't get another Enterprise till the 5th movie. We do not see another Enterprise. Now the crew of the Enterprise is in the 4th movie, but they got to fly that Klingon bird of prey home, and they got to go get the whales in it. Then when we get the next Enterprise, it's the Enterprise A. And that continues. Then you'll see the B in Generations. C is only on Next Generation, so that's where you'll see it. The D is the fat one that is in. I did that on purpose too, and it got me.
Oh shit!
They call it the fat one.
The fat D.
My display's over there, but like it's called.
I'm gonna get a tattoo that says Enterprise. This way, when you're erect,
you got to see the actual
fat.
Next week, I am going to bring. I'm going to have my ships here because I have all of the Enterprise models to scale of each other.
Nice.
To show the differences in sizes and stuff.
Against your pants.
Well, oh shit, that's crazy. You're going to watch the Enterprise D crash and burn, and then they get the E.
Oh,
you're not even going to see.
Someone's going to see the Enterprise D. That's for sure.
The D lands right into a planet.
Oh, it's going to crash into something.
Hopefully it doesn't burn.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's going to be a smooth landing.
Yeah, hopefully, because that's going to be a whole different kind of Star Wars if that's the case.
There's no chafing there.
Jesus.
Better trek on back somewhere else. No, far away from this galaxy with that bullshit.
Just a half hour of Star Trek dick jokes. This is
you want to engage with this fat D, make it so.
It's the Enterprise D.
You'll completely understand those lines when you watch them.
Yeah. This is how Trekkies get it on. What version of the Enterprise do you want? A, B, C, or D?
Well, there's actually up to G now. No, but it makes sense. All of them really make sense because you don't see the F or the G until you get to Picard. Picard season 3. And then you also see the D.
See how we just fucked up Star Trek for people?
Dude, I
I'm
fucking
sorry.
love Star Trek, and you're doing this to me. What's
I'm
gonna happen
sorry.
on Shark and Soul?
I've lost track of whatever the fuck we were talking about.
Oh man.
Oh
On
my
that note,
God.
people, we're gonna wrap this one up over here on
I
Popcorn
don't
and
even
Pints.
know
But
what the
listen,
hell's happening.
if you're awake at midnight, tune in to Horror Research 30. Actually, it's going to be Sturdo Vision, a late night show, and we're reviewing
Shark and Saw Women's Prison Massacre.
Shark and Saw Women's Prison Massacre.
Shark and Saw?
And
Is
I
that
will
Shark
have
and Saw
I will have
Women's Prison
a
Massacre.
review in the plus.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real movie.
Oh,
I'm
we
not making
watched
that up.
it. It's a real fucking thing.
God.
That's the type of movie.
I thought that was something you were making up.
No,
No,
no.
we watching it.
We watched it earlier, and it was. Let me tell you, Chris.
I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing over Enterprise D. There's no way I'm not going in next time and saying something about making an Enterprise reference.
Oh my God,
Oh
dude.
my goodness. Yeah, that it's a real movie though, man. But we're gonna wrap this one up, people. Make sure you check us out over here on Popcorn and Pints. Check out Stories from a Bar. Check out The Scene Snob. Check out Horror Research 30.
Don't forget the Popcorn and Pints Patreon, where next
He's
week
right.
we're going to be talking all kinds of rom-com nonsense.
He's right.
See, I got to stop being on your shows because I actually listen to your show.
Do both.
No, I can't. I hate myself. I can't like my voice. I can't do that.
Oh, I hate myself too, but it's not for this.
All right.
Well, we're out of here, guys. Bring the